am finishing up running a whole bunch of errands, and I wanted to jump on here really quick because today was a good day, or is a good day. Got some good news at the doctor's office, and had something very funny happen. And like I said, out here running errands. I am not driving. I am parked, and so I'm obeying safety and everything. And my hair keeps hitting the top of my, and I keep trying to pat it down. Anyway, okay. So y'all, I wanted to talk about something that has been plaguing me, and now that I can put a word on, I want to share with y'all. It's like I can't keep nothing to myself. I just want to share everything, and that is, I now have a reason for why I get excited about something, delve into it, and then I'm done with it. Has that, does that happen to y'all? I don't know if it does or not. But anyway, it's called hyperfixation. Now, of course, it's like, duh, that sounds right. But I thought, I was like, is something wrong with me? I'll get super interested in something, and then I go down this rabbit hole, this rabbit trail, and I cannot stop until I have satisfied my curiosity, gotten an understanding of what it is that's going on, if it's something or whatever. And it just really kind of made me feel, how can I say it, a little shame, because it's like, Michelle, it's not that important, but I couldn't let it go. And so that was something that I learned. But anyway, I wanted to get on here really quickly, and I just kind of wanted to talk with you guys about the last part of the year. I did a live back on Saturday at the time of this recording, and at the time we were just over 11 weeks out from the end of the year. And so I have really been concentrating on that, and I'm going to keep hammering it in that there is so much that you can get done in this last now 10 plus weeks that we have through the end of the year. And so here are some of the things that I want you to consider, and I want to put out there. Okay. And that is, I want you, if there is something that you'd like to see if you can get done, instead of doing like we would traditionally do, like instead of saying, I want to get X, Y, and Z done by the end of the year, this is what I want to challenge you to do, because this is what I'm doing. I want to challenge you to either fail at it, but give a good effort at least 3 times before you give up, or fail until you succeed. And when I say fail, I'm really talking about bring that energy. Oh yes, bring that energy in, and do it where it's no skin off your back, because you're not expecting to win. So that's one of the big things, y'all. We have 10 plus weeks before this. We call it 2025, and I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff I got to get done. Yeah, I said got to get done. And I have been, trying to do it. And because of how my perfectionism sets in and my imposter syndrome sets in, I spend all this time preparing. And then when you know it, I don't get anything done. So I'm doing this, and I want to challenge you to do it. I want to challenge you. Like, for instance, it might be where you need, okay, y'all, don't judge me. I have had the same homeowner's insurance on my house for the last 19 years. And I don't know about you, but the way the insurance works where I live, if you don't change it, it just keeps going up. And so I know that I need to bring down my mortgage costs, because my insurance is through my escrow. And I have been putting that off. And so this is what I have decided. I've decided this has got to be done before the end of the year. And I'm going to keep trying. And because I have now taken off that I have got to do it all and get it done, and I have all this pressure on me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give myself 3 good tries. And if I fail, I fail. But if not, it's going to be okay. And what I'm noticing, and this is why I wanted to get on here and share this, because I think sometimes when we're trying to do stuff, we look at just the success. We look at what it looks like to walk up to the bat and hit a home run every time. And sometimes you're going to strike out. Sometimes you're going to get a base hit, and sometimes you're going to get a foul. And when you take that energy out, and y'all, I'm not a big I'm not a big baseball person, so I don't know why that came out, but that's what came up for me. And so one of the things that I'm saying is just even the energy around it. But between when I last talked to you guys and today, I have gotten 4 things that were on my list of those, little naggy little things. I have gotten 4 things on that list done. And I'm like, wow. And it's because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just fail at it. I'm not gonna try to hit the home run. I'm not gonna try to be perfect. I'm just gonna fail at it. And when that stuff got done. That's why I'm so excited. That's why I'm sitting up in my car right now in the grocery store parking lot. I was like, I just, ooh, because the 4 things that I got knocked out, they have been on my list this entire year, and it is the mid part of October. Yeah, the mid part of October, and I'm just now getting this stuff knocked out, and I was able to get it done in what, 5 days instead. Oh, it's just amazing. There's this guy, Alex Hermosi, that I follow, and he is, I guess you would call him a online guru, and he has this thing where he talks about the difference between wealth and and poverty mindset. And he says that you can tell how healthy your mind is between how long it takes you to start something and the idea or the concept of getting it. And I use that a lot, in my normal like business stuff. But in this life application stuff of just taking care of myself, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm suffering. You know, yeah, like I said before, health is wealth, and you hear that, but it is something about going to the doctor and dealing with, fears of what are they going to tell me today, or, this kind of stuff. And that might not be you. You might not be in this situation, trying to get your health right and all that kind of stuff. But for me, like, y'all, I'm telling my business, I freak out when it's time to take my my blood pressure, because I'm like, don't be high, but I'm all excited and stuff. And I didn't realize that all that angst and anxiety was keeping me from going and doing the certain kind of things that I'm supposed to be doing, But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to fail. I'm going to make the appointment and I'm just going to fail. And they're going to tell me you need to bring that down or whatever. And yeah, first of all, it was fine. I was like, oh my gosh, it was just a teensy little bit, high on the bottom one, but it was within range. And I was like, yes. And I was like, that was my first at bat, and I didn't strike out. And so, y'all, I'm not telling y'all stuff that I hope you do. I am telling you stuff I'm sharing with y'all. I'm like, docu-trying, telling you as I go, and hopefully encouraging you to do stuff. Like, and I'm in the U.S. I went up, I early voted. And when you early vote where I live, you can't go around the corner to the little library or something. No, you got to go all the way to the elections office, which for me is a drive. But I was just like, go on and get that done. Go on, like I said, doctors, running errands, getting stuff checked off that I need to get checked off, submitting paperwork before the due date of stuff that I know I'm supposed to have done. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Okay, so like I said before, we've got a little over 10 weeks left in the rest of this year. And I want you to make it fun. Instead of saying, oh, I want to challenge myself to do X, Y, and Z before the end of the year, I want you to look at all of the stuff that you wanted to get done before the end of the year. And then I want you to take action on it with the purpose of failing. Once you fail, I want you to keep trying. Now, don't just, halfway do it, I really want you to put some effort into it. I need you to effort to do this, okay? But I want you to expect that you may or may not hit it out the park. And what you're going to notice, hopefully, but what I've noticed in others is that it takes the sting of getting started. You shorten the time that you're able to get started. It takes the sting out if it's not giving you the result that you are expecting. And it also gives you permission to pivot, to change, to move. And you know why? It does that because Oh, and hi there. How are you? It gives you the uh information. You get almost like an instant feedback on how to change, how to move, how to do something so that you can get better at it. And I think that's probably why I've been knocking out this stuff, because trying to be perfect. And when I say perfect, I'm not talking about doing it exactly right. I'm talking about just getting it done. Yeah, for me, it's like, I don't know if I can get this done. And that's this big weight that hovers over my mind, as you know, and it makes it where, okay, well, I got to do this, I got to get that. And then I get confused, and then I make it overly complicated. And then it becomes overly complicated. And then it takes me so much longer to do something that somebody else could have just knocked out, because they weren't taking themselves so seriously. They weren't trying to get to the end before they take the first step. They weren't trying to make sure that all of their movements are perfect as if they were this big expert and all this kind of stuff. Is that you? Is that you? If it's just me, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate you for listening, and hopefully this is entertaining. But if that's you too, let me know in the comments. Come on and tell me. Yeah, Michelle, that's me too. And the reason why I'm asking if that's you too is because I feel it and I see it, and I'm starting to get the memo, if you will, that I'm not special. And there are many people out here that are making simple things overly complicated and not getting stuff done. And I'm also aware now that when I get some success, come run tell y'all. And so that's another thing I'm doing. I'm come running and telling you that you and me, there is a remedy. Look at me trying to rhyme. There is a remedy for what we got going on. And that is try to fail. And like I said, I just picked the 3 number as an arbitrary number. If you fail one time, and then, oh Lord, y'all, I told you I'm in the parking lot, right? There is this, oh Jesus, she about to get hit. Oh, this a hot mess. This lady done tried to back up and turn into not a parallel, just a regular parking spot 3 times. Oh, okay. Oh, it was a minivan. Well, I don't know who would have won between the Toyota and the minivan, but that minivan almost T-boned her. Okay, anyway, back, focus. See, Michelle, you gotta focus. Okay, so anyway, we got this. You can pick whatever number, fail into succeeding. But for some people, you might, oh, that's why. Oh, it's mother driving mother. Bless them. Okay. Stop looking at the people, Michelle. All right. So anyway, I want you to try to fail. And this is another thing too. I actually, when you get through, I want you to, like, either you can tell somebody or you can write it down. That's what I did. And okay, so like with the first thing that I quote unquote failed at was I contacted the wrong people to get something done. And instead of having that wave of, oh, you're so, whatever, and talking mean to myself, I asked them, I said, I apologize. I'm just starting this process. I don't know exactly where to go. And they were more than happy. Y'all, I shouldn't. No, I'm not gonna show y'all, but they the cutest. They are so cute. They tiny too. Anyway, I don't know why I'm so fascinated with these people that almost got hit. And anyway, okay, back. See, this is why I have to be so aware, because I have squirrel moments. Okay. So they helped me, and they were like, no, this is not where you're supposed to go. And the lady, she took her time. She was she took like 9 minutes, giving me stuff, waiting till I wrote stuff down and helping me. And I would have never done that if I was trying to be perfect, because I would have tried to figure out exactly who do I talk to, where do I go, and all this kind of stuff. And believe it or not, at the end, she even said, we get a lot of people that think we're the people that handle that. And she said, it's no problem. That's part of my job. I was like, oh my gosh. So like I said before, when you do try and you expect to not hit it a home run at the first, at bat, it helps you to keep going. Now, I am one of these people, and you've probably heard me say it on other videos if you rock with me, that we want to have proper expectations and all this kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, not right now. Right now, we got 10 plus weeks to get some stuff on the board that we said we were not going to take into the next year. There are some things that still got 2024 on uh on their sheets, and they are calling out and demanding that we get this done. And so that's what I want you to do with me. You know, write it out. It can be something as simple as, like I said before, I'm working on getting my insurance, homeowners insurance readjusted because this stuff has just gotten to be too much, and I need to increase and change the coverage and just a whole bunch of things, that are cumbersome. But I'm getting it done. Getting, I challenge you, health is wealth. Get your health stuff. If you're in a situation, a country or whatever, where you can get somebody to look at you, then do it. And this is another thing. If you're in a country like where I am and healthcare is expensive and you may or may not have it, or you can't afford it because of the deductible, check your local services. Check your health department. If there's a health department, health center or whatever. Right now in the month of October, for my people with female parts, check and see if you can get your screening if you fall within that group, because they are doing a lot of different programs right now during the month of October to help with that. Because otherwise, when you try to go, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Ask me how I know. Just different little things. For me, got to do some stuff with my teeth. I have been travailing over that and bemoaning how much it costs, but I'm putting steps together and I'm making progress. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I'm not here trying to talk down at you or even talk at you. I'm begging you as big sis to you. Y'all, let's take this for real. We got 10 plus weeks. We can do this. We can. Let's see. Great to see you live. Peace, Michelle. I'm working it. Let's. Oh, hey, Miss Kelly Coco. It is so good to see you in the chat. And you know what? Like I said before, I've just been missing y'all. Health is wealth. And when you don't have it, oh baby, your whole life changes. So that's one of my big things that I'm harping on right now. I'm talking about everything that you can do, and the fact that we have less than 11 weeks left in 2024. This year got away from me. There were right in the middle 5.5 months that I was down out of the count. I couldn't do the videos. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't. Just crazy. And so yeah, I do feel like I'm running, trying to make up for time, but because of some of the things that I have learned along the way, and I'm grateful for the lessons, because I don't think that if I hadn't gone through what I've been going through, that I would have gotten to this point to get this information about me, my health and everything. That is now where I'm more, and I don't want to say the word mindful because it's been diluted so much, but I am more aware of what it feels like to be in this body and of this body and working through this body. And it's taken on something totally different. Now, when I opened up the live, I was talking about this thing about hyperfixation, and it's something that I do where I'm hot and then I'm cold. And I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but just even being able to get that understanding is opening up so much for me as to why me trying to fail at least 3 times. When I say trying to fail, meaning that I'm not going to stop. And I give myself permission to fail at least 3 times without berating myself, because it's taking away the stigma and stuff. And so with the hyperfixation for people with, brains like me, in the ADHD realm, we get hyper curious about something to the point where we fixate on it. And for me, I have to go down the rabbit trail where I read the books. I watch 20 billion videos. I try to find podcasts. I do all this research, and it can be something that it's just a curiosity. It's not something that I necessarily need. Like, for instance, I'll give y'all one. Cardistry. Have you ever heard of cardistry? Well, if you haven't, it is a art form of where people do tricks with cards. So it kind of came out of people who would do the card tricks at the poker table. You know, they were really good with poker and stuff. Oh yeah, see, you understand. So instead of people wanting to be magicians with the cards, because that was too, so poker games and people who were magicians who would do card tricks and stuff, these people, they didn't want to do magic, but they loved being able to do all of these different tricks with cards just for the sake of entertainment and doing them. And so it's called cardistry. It's embarrassing how far down that rabbit trail I went. Y'all, I had to stop myself from wanting to buy cardistry specific cards, because with the cardistry cards, yes, they'll have like a playing card, or some of them just will have different pictures on either side. But when you do the tricks and stuff, the way the artwork is done, it can enhance what the card trick looks like. And so they have a whole little world. They even have competitions where people go and they do the little tricks, and their peers will, vote on who did the best or whatever. Let's see, you have a lot of interesting knowledge and wisdom. I'm so glad you're on you're the way. Oh, okay. That right there, thank you so much. That just blessed my heart so much. I think I needed to hear that today. Thank you. Because in this year of being informed as to what's not right, what's not normal, what's different, that's really cool. And so I'm finding that I've been focusing a lot on trying to fix what I can and trying to cope with what I can't fix. That whole serenity prayer. So thank you so much for that. Love to you for that. Oh, thank you. See, that blessed me. And like I said, I'm sitting out here in the parking lot of the grocery store because I just got this. I just want to share, because there is something about accomplishment. And so that is another thing too. Get you a theme word. My theme word for at least through the rest of this year is accomplishment. I've told some of my friends, if you want to know, and y'all, like I said, my hair, I've tried to squish it down. I've just been rocking Afro puffs because, I'm working out and stuff and everything. But anyway, so it keeps hitting that top of the roof of my car. So anyway, that's what's going on. But I have a theme. And I tend to like to have theme words, keywords, if you will, because for me, it helps me. And you can borrow mine if you want to. So my theme word that is driving what I'm doing in all areas is accomplishment. I want to have accomplishment. And so what that looks like for me is getting stuff done, making my list and checking it off, and allowing myself to fail fantabulously, spectacularly. To the point where I want to be able to, I want to be able to laugh about it. Speaking of, y'all, okay, I'm gonna be kind of, I wasn't expecting to do this. All right, so I'm gonna do this real quick, and I hope YouTube don't get me. Okay, do y'all see this? This right here, and it was gifted to me by one of my friends, but I go and I walk, outside, as some of y'all might know. So I walk outside, and I'm walking like 5 miles, when I go outside. And there are some times when my body is like, girl, we gotta go to the bathroom, right? Oh, yes, getting better every day in every way. Exactly. So anyway, I walk. And this right here, because I am female with female parts, is for outside if you need to, do your business. So this is in my car, and because when I go walk, I want to make sure, I have what I need if I need it. Okay, so this is there. Went to the doctor's appointment, and I grabbed, because it's cool outside today. We've been getting a cool front, yay, because I like the cold. So I grabbed my jacket, I didn't know that this was in the jacket. I stand up to go, and the waiting room is full. I'm talking full, full, full. And this falls out. And I'm like, okay. And it's clear that this is mine. Do you know the mortification, of course, was there? But, and I was praying that nobody knew what it was. And wouldn't you know, there was this older lady and I in my age group, and they were sitting against the wall, and the lady looked at it, and she looked at her husband, and they just went down and they giggled, and then I was like, well, at least I'm prepared, and they kind of like laughed, and so I was just like, it's okay, it's okay, because that is going in my journal as part of the failure. But I went and I did that particular appointment that I had been fearful of and scary. And they did the exam. And they're like, you're fine. I'm like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I gladly brought my little PP funnel back to the car and went on about my business. And if anybody had said, well, you're going to finally get up the nerve to go and do this particular thing, and you're going to embarrass yourself in the middle of the lobby when you drop your female pee-pee cup, but it worked out. And that's what I'm saying. It is really freeing when you give yourself permission to fail. And for me, when I'm using my theme of accomplishment. When I was in college, I had a roommate, and I love her to everlasting life. But okay, so you talk about lactose intolerant, that was she. You talking about somebody that could not pass down milk, ice cream, cheese, anything that had to do with dairy, that was she. And so, now mind you, that was my college roommate in a dorm room. And we would have little refrigerators and stuff. And every time I looked around, she was sucking down milk. She was eating ice cream bars. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she gonna blow my nose out. And I used to ask, I'd be like, Lisa, why? Please. And this is what she would tell me. I'd rather be in shame than in pain. And to this day, I still use that. And so today, when I had that little snafu and my little outdoor pee-pee cup fell in front of everybody on the right, and yes, thankfully it was in this, because we got to be sanitary, y'all. You got to use it, clean it, and put it. Can't be just like throwing it around. Anyway, that's what came to me. I would rather be in shame than in pain. So if you want to use that too, but get it done. Don't let something make you be in pain. Do it and suffer the shame. It's okay to do what you need to do, but get it done. And like I said, accomplished, meaning that it's done. The accomplishment of something, when I tell you that stuff feels so good of actually not having to sit and stew in all of these, I need to, I should, I've got to, I must. You'll be amazed. Okay, so y'all know that for me, I have to break stuff down. I have to be on like a daycare schedule, because if I'm not, my day will go by and I'll be like, it's 9 o'clock. Wait a minute. How did I get here? I'll just lose track of time. So because of that, I'm going to share with you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing. So, of course, give yourself, try to go do the stuff that you need to do with the intention of failing at least 3 times before you give yourself any kind of incriminations, before you beat yourself up or any of that kind of stuff. Okay? So this is the next thing. So we got just under 11 more weeks. So if you look at this, like in the last, 12 weeks, like there's a whole 12-week yearbook that I use. So do you realize that there are people out there that in 12 weeks, they do the work of what somebody would take in a whole year? So because we have 10 weeks, I'm going to say, break down what you're trying to do in sets of 3. Last week, I would have said sets of 4, but sets of 3. So if you're starting right now, take this is how I want you to do it. I want you to take it in sets of 3, and I want you to use this week, from the sound of my voice this week, to prep. And that's just this week, okay? Because it'll give you week 10, and then you're going to do 3 sets of 3 weeks, okay? So this first week, you're going to brain dump all the stuff you want to do, all the stuff you hope to do or have or whatever. Like for some of y'all, it's the holiday season coming up, and you got little munchkins and probably some big munchkins looking at you talking about, I hope mom, dad, or sis, brother, or auntie coming through with something, and you're not ready. That you are not ready to do what you'd like or want to do without feeling bad during the holiday season. It's not too late. You can still do it, okay? So this week, and this is what prep looks like. Prep does not look like just sitting there and stewing. Prep is action. It is brain dump, organize, and get your system and get your workflow ready, okay? Brain dump, organize, get a system together, and get your workflow. When I say a system together, what does that mean? Does that mean that you've got to start allocating funds, or you've got to start doing the shopping online or the research or whatever? Because like nowadays, trying to do something for the holidays is kind of like, oh my gosh, the amount of time you put in just trying to shop and get stuff, and the logistics of it. Do you go and drive all over the place? You can't even really do that now because it's getting harder and harder to do that. But that's what I'm talking about when you get your system. In the old days, before we had cell phones and all this kind of stuff, we had phone books and regular phones, landlines, if you will. And they had a saying that said, let your fingers do the walking. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing new under the sun, and it's coming back around. And in today's world, you need to start letting your fingers do the walking, meaning that you are dialing on your phone, calling, figuring out, doing your research and all of that, so you can get the logistics down. Because what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be a member of the church of the last minute like I be sometimes. I want you to go through this. You don't have to be perfect, but I want you to be better. Okay? So what I want you to do is use this week to get prepped. Now, that's just one example. There are certain things that you got coming up, and you got to take care of. For some, it's get that 10 pounds down. Like I said, I had my little doctor's appointment today, and I was just like, I'm not going to let this upset me. And I told that lady, I said, your machine put 2 pounds on me. And she's like, no, it didn't. I said, yes, it did. And I was like, but I'm claiming what I have done, because I have been with intention continuing to decrease the mass of my body. Like I said, I'm out here, doing my 5 miles, doing my weights and stuff. So you gonna give me my 2 pounds. She wouldn't change it on my file though. I told her how much I weigh, and then she gonna put what her machine say. But anyway, so if it's about getting the weight off, try to fail. And when I say try to fail, go for it. And when and if you get on the scale, it's okay if you didn't make the mark, but at least you're doing something. And understand that, pick your theme. Like for instance, mine is accomplishment. I want to accomplish stuff. Accomplishment is different from finished. It's different from perfection, because accomplishment gives me the wins that I need as to doing the stuff too. Okay? All right. So first week, I want you to prep. That's going to give you 9 weeks, and that's 3 sets of 3. Okay? So the first 3 weeks after this week, so 3 weeks from here, I want you to throw everything you can at it, doing any and everything you can. Give yourself freedom to do stuff that's out the box, stuff that don't work or you think don't work, but I want you to do it. There's this book, and y'all know I love books. There's this book called Rejection Proof. And I think the subtitle is, a year of trying to get rejected. And this book is kind of where the genesis of failing for 3 times, trying to, and then being happy about reporting back to myself how I failed, helps. Because this guy, he was mortally afraid of rejection to the point where it dictated how he moved in life. And he purposefully tried to get rejected by going and asking asinine things. Like in the book, he talks about walking up to this lady's house, knocking on her door with his hockey gear and asking if he can play lawn hockey in her backyard, hoping to get rejected, or expecting, not hoping, but expecting to get rejected. And guess what? She said yes. So he went there. I mean, it escalated all the way up to him asking someone to do something from Krispy Kreme, and they said yes. And he said he got to the point where it was okay if somebody told him no, but he learned that the more outrageous stuff he asked, the more people said yes. And it was because he had lost all of that. I must succeed. I must, when I get to the to the home base, I must hit a home run just in one time. And that right there, y'all, that's what I'm talking about. So in our last 10 plus weeks, if you will, that we have doing this, the first thing is, I want you to purposefully try to be okay with failing at least 3 times. Or if you do something and you succeed, great. Put that one to the side. I mean, finish it, accomplish it, because that's my theme, and you can use that one too. And then move on to the next thing. But do not down yourself. Do not give up. Do not talk to yourself in a mean way until you have failed at least 3 times. Okay? Because each time you fail, you're going to learn something. You're going to get better. Something is going to click. You're going to get some kind of direction. Remember when I said, I started with the wrong department trying to get something fixed, and if I hadn't given myself permission to fail, it would have gone wrong. Remember my example of going and this falling. So understand, be kind to yourself and do that, but do it. And like the guy with the trying to get rejected, the more he got comfortable with it, the less he got rejected. All right. So the first week, from this week on, excuse me, y'all, if you haven't started, I want you to take this week to get prepped. That's going to be brain dump. That's going to get you situated. I want you to get your system together, and I want you to get your game plan of how you're going to do this. That means, get organized. So brain dump, get organized, get your system, and get your implementation or your execution plan. Okay. The next 3 weeks, this is all about getting those fails. That means it's just activity. Is this making sense? I hope it is. Let me know in the comments that you're with me, that you're doing this. Okay. I want you trying everything. I want you to even borrow from the rejection proof thing and go and ask for stuff. Like, I'm just remember now at this, and look at me, I got my little stuff from when I went to the doctor. But anyway, I had these forms that I had to send in to another place. I don't have a fax machine, but this place will only allow you to send them forms through, you guessed it, a fax. And then after that, they only have certain days of the month, not the week, that you will be able to get your appointment. So how about when I'm at my doctor's appointment with, checking in, guess what I spy? You guessed it. I spied a fax machine. I happened to have my forms because I was going to try to go find some place to do this. Do you know, I asked those people, can you fax something for me? And they were like, we'd be happy to. That got faxed. They did not tell me no. Now, I wasn't necessarily thinking about the rejection proof guy, but I'm telling you, you have not because you asked not. Those people, gladly, she scanned it in, she sent it off, and then gave me a confirmation that it had been faxed. I was like, now look at God, look at here, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about, and I would not have done that. First of all, disappointment, I had been scared about and putting it off, and did that, and because I got organized, I knew that, okay, I'm going to strategically do the stuff that I need to do. And so I timed it so that I could, hit early voting, go do that. I was gonna go try to find a place to fax because right by the Kroger is a UPS store, and I mean I'm not trying to tell my business, but I'm in the parking lot here at the grocery store, but I didn't have to do that part because they took care of that at the office. So I did my grocery, just different little stuff, and it's because I am not telling y'all stuff that I hope works. I'm telling y'all stuff that I'm doing that's working. That is brain dump. Get it organized. Get your system together and then get your implementation. And therefore, that is how in the last 5 days I have knocked out so much stuff that has been heavy weight on my mind that I did not realize was psychically weighing me down and making it harder for me to function, harder for me to deal with. Because I'm going to tell you, if you get enough crap that you keep pushing back and stuffing back that you're not taking action on, that junk will work you over in your sleep. And you'll be tired. And you'll be mentally exhausted because there's so many loose ends that you're not taking care of. So this is Big Sis Michelle trying to give you that. Okay, so the first week, get prepared. The next week, execute. And execute famously with failure. Be okay with failing. Laugh about it and then get up and try it again. Because each time you do it, you're going to learn something better. You're going to learn the way to do something, or somebody's going to help you do it. Ain't that something? All right. So coming into the last 6 weeks of the year, what we're going to do is we're going to take the stuff that we've learned in the previous 3 weeks, and we're going to, you guessed it, start working on accomplishing. We're going to take that knowledge because we should be better, and we're going to execute. And that means that we're going to finish up the stuff that we've started, making room for other things that we want to get started. Like, for instance, if you know you want to get rid of 10 pounds, and it doesn't matter how much you want to, get rid of, lose 10 pounds, and your body will be like, thank you. If you have it to lose or you need to lose it, that's doable. A pound a week is doable. Okay. And these are just suggestions. I'm not saying that this is what you have to do. Okay. For some of you, like me, I am determined to create new income streams, revenue, hopefully monthly recurring. It's almost the end of the year. That is something that I'm doing. I'm sharing with y'all what I'm doing, not, trying to talk at you, because we in the thick of this together. How do we connect with you to set up a consultation? You know what? Go to my, I have a free group on school, and check the link. I'll put the link in the description here too, but check the link, and once you get in, I'll admit you and all that kind of stuff. You just send me a DM and we'll set it up. Okay. And thank you for that. Thank you for asking. The next thing is, like, we're in the middle of the 3 weeks, the middle 3 week. This is all about execution. This is all about getting stuff done. And this is where I'm going to tell you, this is where you're going to face a lot of hurdles. You're going to face boredom. You're going to face, I don't want to do this no more. You're going to face your own self fighting you. Like, if you're trying to set up new routines, new rituals, your own self is going to be like, we don't have to do that. And it's going to negotiate with you, and it's going to sound really good, and going to try to tell you everything as to why you shouldn't do it, and we can just catch it on the later and all this kind of stuff. Lies from the pit of hell, lies. So you're going to use the fact that you have gotten over the newness and over the thing of trying not. Okay, great. Yes. And the newness and the fear of failure. You've already practiced that for three previous weeks. So that frees up that energy to deal with, we do it. So y'all, I have mantras. Okay, these are not mine. These are some that I heard, but they work. For me, I have task initiation issues because I've been retraining myself how to prioritize. And in the week 3, this week, that's where you're going to really come up with that, because the inertia of the forward movement of trying to, fail fast to finish or to accomplish, it's starting to wear off. And now you're dealing with, okay, well, I've gotten those quick wins, and I got this big stuff, this complicated stuff. So what you're going to be facing is yourself. You're going to be possibly, if you're like me and others, with certain neurodivergent tendencies, you're going to be having to fight through just getting started on the next thing, or even getting started. Okay. And then the priority. I'm going to be teaching really soon skills prior the building the skill of prioritization, because most people think that they know how to prioritize and they do not, and they end up extending a lot of energy on something that maybe gets them 20% of what they're really wanting. So, being able to have an evaluative understanding of your world and what you really should be doing to get the biggest bang for the buck, you're going to become very aware of it there. Oh, yes, you are. In that middle 3 weeks, it's going to feel like you're walking through sand with lead boots on. Okay? So, I'm just telling you, work on that. Work on keeping it. The mantras that I say. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Oh, yes. I say that until, guess what? I am doing it. When I am doing it, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, yes. And I time myself. Now, I time myself because I have like time blindness, and this is part of, my ADHD stuff, and, the getting lost in time. Like I say, you look up and it's 9 o'clock. You're like, what am I doing with my day? That kind of stuff. But I have to do that. You might not have to do all of that, but I have to do that. But in that middle energy, whoo, that middle energy is where the fatigue sets in. And I'm not talking about just physical. I'm talking about mental. You are going to be exercising muscles, mental muscles that might be out of shape or that you've never engaged in this way before. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, oh, it's not going to affect you. Some people have you out here believing that just once you get started pedaling the bike, and you get up to a certain speed, the bike will do the rest for you. It will not. You will have to continue to be the fuel and the motor to get what you want. But perseverance will help you. All right, this last 3. Okay, you would think, finishing up, achieving your goals is going to be so easy. I wish it was. It is not. There's another thing that comes up. And you know what that is? That is, some people will not realize when they are in the finishing stage. They will continue to go way past, do too much, or start to veer off and do stuff that's wrong. Just even having the awareness of what finish looks like is a big deal. And so that will be something that I want you to input into your plan after, because by this time, you have done 7 weeks. Remember, you got 1 week prep, you got that first 3 weeks, and then you got the second 3 weeks. That's 7 weeks. And that should put you somewhere in the first week going into the second week of December of this year if you're doing this now with me. And if you're doing this at another time, that's fine. You can do this. You can do it in 12-week, setup. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to start to, with intention, determine what accomplished looks like for you in this task, and this task. And the reason why I say that is because there are some times when you say there's something you need to do that you will naturally get to a point where I can't do anymore. It's up to someone else. And when people don't realize that, and I'm saying this because this has happened to me, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Now, other people are supposed to do what they are supposed to do. And I'm trying to still put my hands in it. If I call enough, if I harass them enough, if I do this, if I do that, and it makes it worse, or they just don't want to fool with you. Being able to understand what your part of what you're trying to do looks like as finished or accomplished. This is Big Sis Michelle giving you wisdom on this, because a lot of people are not going to tell you this kind of stuff, because I think a lot of people are not going through it and they're telling you what they hope and what they think. I'm telling you the practical reals, because this stuff is real. Okay. So first and foremost, figure out what accomplished looks like. Figure out, have you done your part? Is it now time for you to give it up in faith for somebody else to finish their part? It might be where it's just something that you can completely do. But bear in mind, with intention, you need to know what it looks like when you're finished. Okay? That's not the only thing. The other part of this last 3 weeks of landing the plane, of finishing up the stuff, is to deal with any kinds of emotions of perfectionism, of imposter syndrome. Now, remember I said figure out what it looks like to be finished? For some of you, you might start having this, well, this isn't good enough. Well, I should have done this or done that. This is a prime area where people fall into self-recrimination, guilt, and regret. Oh, well, I shouldn't have done it this way. Or I should have done this. Or I'm so stupid. I messed up. I didn't do it. You done it. That's why I said my theme is accomplishment, because without my theme, I don't get stuff accomplished. And then I berate myself because I have this thing of wanting to have it perfect. On my live on Sunday, I talked about two different types of people in this world, especially when you're trying to get stuff done. And it comes from this book. Yes, I know I'm talking about books. But it comes from, and now the book has just left out of my head. If I remember it, I'll mention it. But this guy talks about the way we approach stuff, and he talks about two different types of people. Well, I suggest and submit that there are three types of people, and the third one is the one that will do you well. And he said there are maximizers and there are satisficers. So, from the word satisfaction. So, a maximizer is the person that I am trying to be reformed from. Now, yes, I'm still going to use Miss Maximizer's skills when applicable, but I can't approach everything as a maximizer, and I don't encourage you to do it either. Okay? So, what I want you to understand is a maximizer is really good, because a maximizer is going to do the work of evaluating, and the difference, simply of how a maximizer and a satisficer works. A maximizer is going to look for the best thing out of everything available. They're going to do the research. They're going to price compare. They're going to look at the pros and cons. They're going to look at both sides, pro and con of the takeaways and all of this. And when they line everything up, they're going to pick the best thing. Well, wouldn't you know it? That's how society tells us we should be approaching everything. We should be approaching everything as a maximizer. And that works until it doesn't. That works until you have somebody like me who gets into this debilitating inability to do something because I'm making things overly complicated, because I can't make a decision, because I can't truly see what is the best. And there are going to be times when there is no clear winner, but you still have to make a decision. And I'm telling you this because I'm in the middle part, that third 3 weeks on through the last part, you're going to find that you're having to make more decisions than you bargained for, because accomplishment and getting stuff done requires that you make choices and decisions that move you forward. And if you don't understand when you need to be a maximizer and when you need to be a satisficer, it's not going to work. And you're going to be frustrated because you can't make the decision. Okay? So the maximizer is the one looking to make the decision or the choice of what is the best compared to everything. Then you have the satisficer. And that's the one that I am currently working on strengthening. And a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you now, like building in failure and just even the approach of how you do stuff, is a satisficer, because a satisficer takes and understands what is my non-negotiable, meaning what is, and they have two components. What is the core minimum of what I need, and then what is the standard at what I needed. So once they have understood what is the core, the non-negotiables, it must have this, and this. It must behave this, and this, and the standard, anything else, all the choices that meet that or above, You have just opened up your psychic abilities, meaning that you don't have this heavy weight of trying to decide stuff, that you have more choices and more options. And when you have more choices and more options, it's a wider path for you to move through, as opposed to the maximizer who narrows it down to a pinpoint that you can only choose this one and it's got to be right. Because when you're maximizing, it causes the regret and the guilt. It causes you in the third, the last part of the year to look back and be like, oh, well, maybe there was something better. Or I was so stupid, I missed out on this. That's where FOMO, fear of missing out, lives, and all of this kind of stuff. Because we're only maximizing. So I need you to understand that the third person is able to use either one of them perfectly. Oh, I shouldn't say that word. But you understand there's a time to maximize and there's a time to be satisfied. And as long as you understand that and you can pick those times, that's going to be great, because it's going to give you more options. It's going to give you more chances to accomplish. It's going to give you more ability to move forward. Y'all, this is so freeing for me. It is helping me to do so much more. Going back to my friend from college who used to say when she would have flatulence, from all of that dairy that she would eat, and she would say things like, I'd rather be in pain than in shame. That to me is indicative of someone who is free enough to not hold themselves to this perfectionistic model, to not be hyper focused on always just hitting a home run at bat, never understanding that there are going to be strikeouts, there are going to even be foul balls that you hit, and it's okay. That doesn't mean that you are totally ejected out of the game. You still have an opportunity to do it. All right, so thank y'all. This was something that I was like, in the grocery, I was feeling so accomplished, so good. And I'm like, wow, and that's what I thought. I said, I still have 10.5 weeks done left in the year. And I'm going to get a lot of the stuff. Now, I hope to get everything on my list done, but at least I know I've gotten some of the things done, and I'm going to get some more of them done. And I want to invite you to come on the journey with me. This is a brilliant quest. This is what the brilliant quests look like. All right. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. And if you're watching this after the fact, I hope that this inspires you and invigorates you to do likewise, so that you can look back on 2024 and be like, baby, when I left you full. All right. Oh, thank you so much. I know, I believe it too. And I invite you, if there's something that you can be inspired to do it as well. And that reminds me, y'all, I have a free community, and it is called Brilliant Quest Start Here. And I'll put the link in the description. I'll probably have to do it when I get home, because I'm gonna go and get home now. But I want you to come on in and join me, and let's do some brilliant stuff together. Let's get these quests done. Let's have something that we can look back on. It's legacy building time. It's all of those things, and I'm just so thankful and blessed that on this side of the journey that I've had, at least especially for this year, that I'm able to have a smile, to be able to talk with you, and to be able to share that I'm actually getting stuff done. It did not look like I thought it would, because prior Michelle was still dealing with perfectionism, and I'll probably continue to. But today, in this moment, I'm sharing with you what I got and what I know is working for me. And I invite you to come along with me, try it out, and then modify it for you. All right. So I am going to talk with you guys sooner than later. Thank you so much for showing up and being with me. And Miss Kelly Coco, I am, you know what, if you go and you look at the last video, not alive, but the last video I did, the link is in there. The last two of them, actually, the links are in there as well. Okay. So I will see y'all soon. Bye. Blessings to you. Now, y'all, let's go out there and be accomplished. Bye.